Welcome to Crisis Command, a rapid multiplayer disaster management training tool and game for 4 or 5 players. Crisis Command is designed to help teams work on their communication, leadership, and decision-making skills in a stressful situation. The experience takes about 15 minutes, meaning teams can play, conduct a debrief, and play again to measure their improvement, all in well under an hour. It's designed to be played with or without a facilitator and can be conducted as a standalone warm-up or an intermission to other training. Crisis Command works on almost any iOS device, from iPads to iPod Touches. It requires an active Wi-Fi network, although the network does not need to be connected to the internet. Let's quickly look at how it's played. After tapping Start, each team member will be prompted to enter their name. Your name will be used to find games during setup, but can be anything. Every game of Crisis Command is hosted by an incident commander. This team member will take on an overall leadership role for the rest of the team, rather than being directly involved in the situations the team faces. To start, choose one team member to be the incident commander, and communicate that to the group. That player should tap Yes to Are You the Incident Commander, which will create a new game. You will also choose the pace of the game. A group of mostly new players should try the normal mode, but there is also the challenge mode once you have a few games under your belt. The incident commander should now see a view of their game lobby, and all other players should see a list of current games. If you don't see the game listed, and you're sure the incident commander has created it, make sure that all of your devices are on the same Wi-Fi network. This is the most common source of problems. Tap on the game name and hit Join. You'll be in the lobby. As soon as there are 4 total team members connected, the incident commander will have the option to begin the game. Playing with 4 team members like we are here can be more challenging than with 5, but the game works the same either way. Each crisis begins with a briefing. Each team member should read the briefing and familiarize themselves with the current status and objective. The overall goal is to make it through 12 minutes without any of the critical status indicators at the top of the screen being reduced to 0. During the briefing, you can and should also look at the resources you have available, but we'll come back to that later. The incident commander controls the pace of the briefing. Talk to your team and make sure everyone has time to review the briefing entirely before moving on. The incident commander will have an opportunity to call another briefing halfway through the game. Once the initial briefing is over, the crisis begins. The first screen you will see is the situation screen, which may be empty at first. However, as the crisis develops, you will see more and more situations appear here. Each situation is a problem that your team can collectively deal with. The crucial thing to keep in mind is that each team member sees different situations, and you need to communicate that information verbally to the rest of the team. Meanwhile, the incident commander has a very general view of the situations that are happening, but no ability to gather more information directly. The incident commander needs to stay on top of the overall crisis and remind players to identify and communicate the situations they are facing. So how do we actually deal with situations as they occur? By tapping on any situation on the list, we go to another view which shows the details specific to that situation. Here we can see not only a more detailed description of the problem, but also what the effects will be if we successfully resolve this situation, or if we fail to resolve it in time. Below this, we can see the resources that will be required to successfully resolve the situation. Each situation has a timer bar at the top, which steadily ticks away. If we don't get the needed resources in time, it will fail. Most of the time, you won't have the resources to deal with these situations completely by yourself, and will need help from the rest of the team. Just by opening up this closer look at the situation, we provide some additional information to the incident commander, who can now see which of our critical statuses will be affected. The IC or the other team members still won't know what resources you need or how close to success it is, so you need to stay on top of things and provide that information verbally to your team. Let's take a look at the resources screen and how we actually resolve situations. Here is the Resources tab, which shows you a view of the resources that only you have available. Resources come in 2 basic types: supplies and staff. Supplies are on the left and can only be used once. Staff are on the right and will become available again in a while after being sent to work on any situation. It is up to you whether to send supplies or staff to any situation. There are 6 categories of resources in total. And an important thing to keep in mind is that your role usually won't have access to all of the types. Each team member will specialize in 2 or 3 types of resources, so try to learn who has what before you need it. From here, you can tap on any resource in order to assign it to any situation, including your own. You'll see the complete list of all currently active situations. So talk to the other team members and make sure you're sending it to the correct place. Once resources are allocated, this can't be undone. A staff member may provide multiple types of resources, such as both security and communications, and all of their resources will be applied to any situation you assign them to. If the resources don't apply, they won't be used. On the other hand, finding situations where all of a staff member's skills are applicable is the most efficient way to resolve problems. If a situation belongs to you and other team members send resources, you'll receive notifications as these resources come in. You'll see the resource dots fill up. Once they are all full, you can hit the Resolve button to successfully resolve this problem. As long as all of the needed resources are there, the situation will also automatically resolve successfully when its time runs out. But it's better to manually resolve it as soon as you can in order to reduce confusion and accomplish goals. The incident commander has a special ability they can use to help out, which is the logistics officer. By tapping on the Logistics tab, they can send resources of any type to any one team member. These resources will be delivered as several supply crates over a period of a couple minutes, so it's best to stay aware of which resource types are running low and stay ahead of shortages. These supplies are delivered directly to a team member's resource tab rather than to any specific situation. Finally, all team members who are not the incident commander have access to the Actions tab, which are quick puzzles and quizzes that you can solve in order to gain immediate additional resources for yourself or other team members. Actions take your attention away from your team and the situation's bigger picture, so try to do these during slower moments in the crisis. Each of these actions can be attempted only once and must be done in a single attempt. Still, having the resources gained by successfully completing all of your actions can make the difference between success and failure. Crisis Command is all about learning to work as an effective team. Communicating and prioritizing problems to solve them efficiently will lead to success. If you didn't succeed, can you identify reasons why and figure out ways that you might improve? If you succeeded, can you repeat and sustain the behaviors that led to success? What do you know about your colleagues that may help in a real disaster or crisis? Crisis Command is designed to be played quickly so that you can identify and address problems, make improvements, and try again. The debrief is an important aspect that you should conduct openly with your team, and then evaluate whether you've made improvements with each new attempt. Crisis Command is currently available for free on the iOS App Store. Download it and try it today.